How to build your business authority, thank you so much, on LinkedIn with me, Virginia Chachati. Today is the 12th of September, 2024. So thank you for being here today. So why LinkedIn? LinkedIn is social media for businesses. They want to be the hub for expert business, career knowledge, and discussions. So their two main goals are to help people do their jobs better and also to help people understand their industry better. So they love the kind of discussions and types of posts that match up to those goals. So those are like the two key takeaways from this presentation. So even if you leave now or you don't want to watch anything else, those are the two goals that you want to align with if you want to be successful and be seen as a thought leader and business authority on LinkedIn. So videos are hot right now on LinkedIn, and here's an example of content performance from my profile. So the two pink arrows show exactly where I posted a video and I got a crazy number of impressions. I got 1 million impressions in less than 2 weeks. And what's interesting about the impressions is that over half of them were unique views. So over 550,000 out of the 1,050,000 were actually unique people. So getting new people to look at your profile. So they are pushing video right now. So if you haven't started getting into video, I would highly recommend that you do that if you want to start building your thought leadership profile and business authority. So hopefully that's hooked you in to let you know that I know what I'm talking about. So who am I? I'm a copywriter, I'm a digital course creator. I run a couple of businesses on LinkedIn, including being a video coach, a medical writing community with over 9,000 members, and a collection of courses, workshops, and webinars. And I also am a big champion of health information standards. So I work with the Patient Information Forum, and I'm also PIF-TIC accredited. So the PIF-TIC is the Trusted Information Creator Badge that you put on evidence-based health information. And I'm a community creator. So I love to create communities, and I'm very much involved in YouTube health community as well. I work for the NHS, and I've got 2 brands, Right Clinic and Medical Writer Magazine. And I'm also part of the WHO creator team as well. So why me? I've been using LinkedIn since 2020. I've seen a lot of things change. I'm part of the LinkedIn Thought Leadership Program. We're a group of 700 people that have been chosen by LinkedIn to kind of help drive creators to create helpful information and posts. I work 100% remotely, all thanks to LinkedIn. So I get all of my business, my livelihood is all thanks to LinkedIn for the past 4 years. And my personal brand on LinkedIn has helped me survive 2 redundancies. So even though I had a couple of full-time jobs in the past 4 years, I was made redundant from both because the market's a bit funny. So now I full-time freelance and have my own businesses. So it is worth building your business authority and thought leadership profile and personal brand on LinkedIn. So here are 5 things you're going to learn if you haven't learned anything already in this presentation. What's new on LinkedIn? I'm going to bust some LinkedIn myths. I'm going to tell you how to write scroll-stopping content to capture clients, and also how to set up a business page. And I've managed business pages for other authority kind of leaders, and then also my own brand as well. And then what to post to sell without selling, because ultimately everyone on LinkedIn knows that they're there to make deals and become thought leaders and authorities in their space. You're welcome to ask questions at any time because we're a nice little small cozy group. So I don't mind if you interrupt me. You can either drop your questions into the chat because I can see the chat, or you can simply raise your hand or just start talking. So absolutely don't mind. So what's new on LinkedIn? Well, you no longer have something called creator mode. So any kind of guidance that tells you to switch on creator mode is old. It's pre-March 2024. So now everyone automatically has creator mode. So people can choose to follow you, or people choose to connect with you. And the difference is that if they connect with you, then they can have direct message conversations with you. If they follow you, it means that they will see everything that you post. And some people can follow you with a notification bell that's on, so they see absolutely every single thing that you post. Otherwise, it will just be kind of casually placed into their regular LinkedIn scroll that they, which is their feed that they scroll through. There are no longer stories on LinkedIn. So it used to be a feature where you could click on your little profile bubble and it'll play a little video of who you are and what you have to sell and that kind of thing. but they discontinued that. And now profiles have new premium features. So for example, all of your recommendations used to be at the very bottom of your LinkedIn profile page, but now you can actually feature one of your recommendations in your featured section. And there's also a premium feature where people can directly click a link that's on your name on every single post that you put on LinkedIn. And you might have seen them. They're like a little blue link and it will say, visit my website or click or request services. And those will actually take you to another web page, whether that's on LinkedIn or off LinkedIn. There are also feature posts on business pages. So if you really want to promote something, you can actually feature that post on your business page. And that's really useful, especially if you have like a webinar coming up or an email capture page or a white paper you want people to download, or you're having a special offer or something like that. So that's not a premium feature though, which is great. Everyone can use featured posts on business pages. So the About section has moved now to the very top of your profile. So if you haven't been writing anything about yourself, or you haven't spent much time kind of thinking about what to put in that section, I would recommend that you definitely spend some time doing that. You can hire a copywriter if you're not sure what to write or how to write. There's also a new services section on your page with star ratings, which is now the second section underneath your About section. The services section used to be just a little blue bubble that was underneath your headline, but now it's been given its own section on your profile page. So it's much bigger, much more noticeable. So if you do sell a service like writing or creating videos, or you're a graphic designer, then that is prime retail estate on your profile page that you should definitely fill in a services section. And I've got a couple of star ratings, so it's always nice to have, you know, some 5-star reviews from people who've worked with you, and they are basically verified because you can actually go and see that person's profile and see that they're a real person. So LinkedIn very much encourages real people to sign up, so you can't kind of hide behind a facade or an alias. There's also the featured section is now third on your profile page. It used to be at the top, so there's less attention on the featured section, but you should still feature something, whether that's a post or a service that you provide. And videos are getting crazy high impressions, but this is probably short-lived. So that was the screenshot that I showed you at the very beginning. And so if you haven't created videos before, but you're trying to build your business authority, then posting one video a week or one video every couple of weeks would be great, because you can get quite a lot of reach and eyeballs on your profile. There's also another feature which has changed, and so you cannot switch off the more profiles for you on the side. So when you wanted to keep people on your profile, you could actually switch off. There's a panel which has lots of other profiles that people could go and check out. But now you can't switch that off. So people related to the kind of stuff that you write about on your profile will pop up on the side. So you want to kind of outshine those, and you can check what that looks like by looking at someone else's profile who's similar to yours and seeing what you can tweak on your profile to stand out. So let's bust some myths. So my favorite one to bust is don't put a link in your post, put it in the comments. So not only should you actually definitely put the link in your post because it's easier to find, you shouldn't put it in the comments because people won't be able to find it, or they might completely miss where it is. And I've noticed that some people will create their post, put it out and say, check the comments, but then the comments are not actually there yet. So they might have actually added the link in the comments, but it doesn't appear for that person. So they'll just scroll past your post. So put the link to whatever you are referencing in your post, but make sure that you provide some context around it. So if it's an article that you're talking about, say this article was originally published in this newspaper on this day by this author, and then link it. Don't just put floating links in your post, because people won't know why they should click on them. And also LinkedIn does this thing where it shortens your link and it gives it a unique LinkedIn link. So you often can't tell what the original link is. So always provide context if you're going to put a link in your post. And those links can go off platform, so to a web page off LinkedIn. Do you need lots of comments or reactions in the first hour of your post? No. So LinkedIn is slower than other platforms. So it's not really about the volume of content or how much you post. It's more about the quality of your post. So if it's a good post and you post it on a Saturday and people discover it a few days later on Wednesday, it will still perform well. And you want to kind of think of all of your posts as a conversation with your audience. So if you start talking about something, let's say you start talking about carbon footprint of AI, and then your next post is about the carbon footprint of creating shoes, and then your next post is about the carbon footprint of recording a YouTube video, people are going to know that you're all about carbon footprints, not about those other things. So you want to have a kind of common thread throughout your posts. So then LinkedIn can actually know who to send your posts out to, but then also people know to contact you for whatever you are talking about. Should you avoid posting at night or at the weekend and try to find the best time to post? No, because I post at the weekend and at night a lot, and people have different time zones. So if I post at night, then I have a US audience that has a look at all of my posts. And then I have a UK audience that will wake up in the morning and look at it. So don't worry about thinking, I need to time my post perfectly. Just put out a good quality post, whatever time it is, and people will find it. And also some people will really want to dig deep into the type of things that you talk about, and they will go to your page, they will look at all of your previous posts, and maybe you posted something last week, a month ago, and 2 months before that, but they'll see everything that you've recently done. Posts that get more views are better. No, not necessarily. So I've been posting a lot of video content, and not all of the content absolutely gets hundreds of thousands of impressions. Some of my posts which are text only, some of my posts which have a picture, those do just as well as my videos sometimes. It depends on the content of the post and how you frame what you're saying. So don't get caught up in why you've done a great post. Just keep putting stuff out there because you want to keep the conversation going. Should you post in every format? So there are different formats like videos, there are carousels, which are those like PDF swipe files, and there are also text only posts. You can post a photo, you can write a newsletter, you can write an article. You don't need to post in every single type. I would say be known for something. So for me, I want to be known more for my carousels and my videos. So those are the two types of posts that I mainly post. But I will often just do a celebration post, which might just be one picture and a little comment or a little story. You don't need to do every single type of format. Just pick something that you like, that you can do easily. And if you want to experiment, then LinkedIn is very open to that. Do you need to create content that appeals to a broad audience? So no, LinkedIn does not want you to do that because they want you to be an expert in your space. So if you do create content that appeals to a broad audience, then it's not necessarily going to do well or reach that audience. You'll tend to find that even creators who have large followings, they often don't get that much engagement on their posts because they're very much concentrated in a very specific community. So try to make your content as specific as possible to who you're trying to reach. So how can you write scroll stopping content that actually captures clients? So you want to have a strong hook. And I love it when people say, but what's a hook? How do I write a hook? You want to think on something that's very sharp and very short and simple that is interesting to someone. So that could be a interesting fact. It could be something that you've experienced emotionally. So for example, I'm really excited to announce the launch of my YouTube channel, or really excited to announce that I just got monetized on YouTube. So, scored a new source of income, or that kind of thing. Something that's relatable. So when people are talking about the change of seasons, for example, so people who kind of like that sphere of what's trending or what's going on. For example, the Olympics, a lot of people posted things around that. Or you could have curated something. So when you create something, it means that you've gone and looked at a dense piece of information that might be very detailed, and you picked out something that's really interesting and you're sharing that with your audience. And so you're saving them time, but also you've picked up on something that they may not necessarily have picked up on. And so you've got your strong hook. Then you get straight to the point. So give the key takeaways about what you want to share with people. Now, some people are storytellers, some people like to bullet point. So I'm very much I attended this amazing event by YouTube, for example, and here are 5 key takeaways I got from the health creators that presented. And I give those 5 key points, and then I would give a clear call to action as the next step to start a conversation. So that could be, reach out to me if you want to learn more about YouTube Health and what they're doing, or reach out to me if you've ever thought about being on camera. And so that's how I kind of, start the conversation with services that I can offer. You also want to kind of consider your values or your unique point of view on trends. So we're a very diverse community, and you might have a strong opinion on something. So if you think it's a strong opinion, then say that. That's often a hook that I see, hot take on this or strong opinion on that. And think about trends if you want to kind of be more relatable as well, because life is an experience that we all go through together, and there might be some big events that are happening, or something that's very industry specific to your kind of sphere of knowledge. And in terms of values, you might have an opinion on certain things that might be, an uncommon opinion. So think about who you're trying to attract as well. So for me, for example, I'd be trying to attract healthcare professionals who don't have much time in their appointments, and they want to give more information to their patients, but they want it to come from them. So maybe they'll record a video to share that with their patient later. And of course, the final step is include some kind of image, video, or a carousel. You can create carousels on Canva for free. So just type in LinkedIn carousel, and it will give you a template. You can change the colors and the font, and all you have to do is change the text, add some pictures, that kind of thing. And it sounds easy, but it can take 1 to 2 hours to create a carousel. But people really like that type of content because, again, it's something that's accessible, something they can download. And often they might save your post because you've created something that they want to keep. So again, thinking about quality over quantity. So what happens after you create your content? You want to engage with your audience. So LinkedIn is all about connecting and creating relationships. And whether that leads to a sale or not is up to you. But ultimately, you want to meet people and form those relationships so that you can, become a thought leader, see what discussions are happening, and understand your audience better as well, because maybe you can tailor your services better as well. So connect with people or follow them, send them a direct message. And often a thank you note can go a long way. So sometimes I will reach out to someone because I noticed they've been liking quite a lot of my posts and they're a new person. And I'll say, hey, thank you so much for liking my post. I really appreciate the support. And then sometimes I'll get a response which says, oh, yeah, I've been following you for a while, but I'm about to go on holiday. I've been a bit busy and I do want to have a call with you. So let's connect when I get back, which is always really great. So you're not being like a pushy salesperson as well. You're just showing gratitude and appreciation. And people also love to read the comments on everything on the internet. So whether you're watching a video or you're looking at the discussions in the comments on a LinkedIn post, try to make it something that's worth reading. So LinkedIn has said, try to avoid just saying thank you to every single person. I know I'm like super guilty of that. I do say thank you a lot, and that will be my comment in response to someone. But sometimes people will write something thoughtful, or they'll ask you a question and you can respond to that in the comments. And it just helps to kind of add to the post, and people spend more time looking at you and what you're about and the conversations you start as well. And people like to see how you act in public as well. So keep that in mind when you're responding. So here are a few video best practices that LinkedIn recommend. So vertical video is preferred to horizontal video, but I've seen lots of horizontal videos perform really well, and I post them myself as well. So don't let that put you off. And now when you're scrolling on mobile, there will be a 5 kind of scroll panel on your feed so that you can have a selection of videos to watch if you want to. It's kind of like when you're scrolling on the YouTube app, for example. And they do recommend that you keep your video to about 90 seconds or under 2 minutes, because that's something that's easy and quick to grab someone's attention. They're more likely to watch the whole thing. Have a clear hook, much like your posts. You want to tell people something interesting, and also try to stick to one single thing that you want to talk about, similar to posts, so that people can take something away from your video. So for example, on this video, I wrote about how to add captions to your video for free. So I mentioned 2 ways. One is using the video app created by YouTube called YouTube Create. And you can do that on your phone. You can auto generate the captions for free. And you can also go on desktop and you can use Adobe Express Caption Creator. And those are 2 free ways. And so, you've got exactly what you need to do and how to do it in less than 30 seconds from my video. You also want to include, if you want to, some kind of unique or authentic point of view. So I'm all about accessibility. So that's why I would make this kind of video about why you should add captions to your video. And so some people give their opinion on an event or something that they've attended or something that they've read or a conversation that they've had with someone. So I would recommend that you think about those kinds of topics for videos as well. And people get to meet you through video. They get to see you, what you're like, how you talk, how you present yourself. So that's why video is really taking off now, because that was kind of missing when it was just a text-only platform. So what's the immediate action that people can take after watching? You want them to do something. So at the end of all of my videos, I say, if you like tips like this, then follow for more. And if you want to, you can ask them to do something else. That could be to click a link, to check out your services, to check out your website, or check out your YouTube channel, or something like that. So you do want to add captions onto your videos, because people will watch them usually on silent. Maybe they're on their commute. They don't want everyone to hear what they're watching, or they forgot their headphones, or they're listening to music at the same time. And LinkedIn does generate captions for you, but I would recommend that you edit those before you allow them to be published. So if you don't want to add captions to your video, then use the LinkedIn auto-generated ones. And when you post a video, you'll often need to write some text to go with your video. So have a couple of key takeaways, or that's what LinkedIn recommends that you put. So my key takeaways would be, here are 2 ways to add captions, and I would just put them in case people don't want to watch the video. So I'm including the information twice on a single post. So when it comes to writing anything, you might want to consider the storytelling journey. So this is something that was posted on the LinkedIn creators page. So there is an official LinkedIn creators page, and LinkedIn themselves put out content to help you write things. And so our experiences shape us and help others learn. And by sharing our experiences, people learn from us, and that's how you can become a thought leader and build your business authority. So when you're writing a story, you want to think about what's at stake. So that could be something emotional, like, I was really sad about when this event happened, but something happened that drastically changed how I felt, or something like that. Or you could say, there are 100 people on my waiting list. Here's how I helped get that number down to 20 by creating health information videos. What was the kind of scenario that you were dealing with, and how did you transform it? Because often there's, whenever you have a story, there's some kind of setting the scene, and then you're giving some details. Then there's normally like a twist or something that you learn in the story, and then people take something away from that story and they've learned something. And then when they think of that story, they'll think of you, and they'll associate you as being the thought leader. So taking the time to plan out a story might be something that you do once a month. And those stories are something that will be memorable, and they'll be unique to you. So there is a lot of generic content out there, and even part of this presentation may seem generic, but the way I've been personalizing it is by giving you examples from the way that I do things and stories from my life and my experience. So moving on to how to set up a business page. So why should you have a business page? It's basically somewhere where you're allowed to be as salesy as you want. And it also means that you can attract investors and stuff. So even though LinkedIn wants you to create things as a personal brand on your own profile, there are some things that might not be appropriate to share on your business page. They might be something that's personal to you. So for example, if there's a major event in your life, like you get a new dog or your daughter graduates from university, that might not be something you want to put on a business page. But if you've got a fantastic new investor or a fantastic new product, then that would be great to put on your business page. And if you are a coach or you've got a fantastic testimonial, then building up your business page also just helps you have two channels to operate from. So my strategy on LinkedIn has been to create my authority as a medical writer and build a community around that. So build Right Clinic, the brand. And so everything on that kind of channel is all about medical writing. And so that leaves my personal page to talk more about coaching and workshop and webinars and things that I achieve personally that may not necessarily be connected to medical writing. So it kind of gives me two channels on LinkedIn. So having a business page can give you multiple channels to talk about different things and become an authority in different spaces. So if you want to set up a business page, then you can create one by simply going to the little For Business button that's next to your profile picture, and then scroll all the way to the bottom and click Create a Company Page. You'll need a logo, so even if you don't use the page to post, it's always a good idea to have a logo on your business page. Otherwise, it just looks like an empty, abandoned page. And it's also a way to help you break out from being a freelancer and being a proper business. So we all know that sometimes being a sole trader or being an individual person, it just feels a bit more rocky if you are not seen as a business, but you're just an individual running a business. So it's good to have a business page to kind of show that you do things seriously. You have a, entity that is separate to you as well. So in terms of being a freelancer and protecting yourself and your personal wealth, having a business entity can help you, with different insurances and things like that, kind of separate your personal wealth and belongings to your business operations. So add a website and add an about section, and make sure you add a logo. When you create your business page, again, you don't want to leave that empty. And add yourself to your own business on your LinkedIn experience section, because at the very top of your profile, it will have a logo and the name of the company that you work at. So if you work for yourself and you've set up a business, then you want there to be a logo or a picture there rather than just an empty little gray square, and the name of your business as well. So use your business to your business page to your advantage, or you can leave it empty if you just want to have your own personal page doing all the legwork and building authority. But it's a good opportunity if you do want to pivot in your career in future to kind of build that in parallel. And then when you set up your business page, make sure that your personal account actually interacts with your business page so people know that it's yours. And so that's how I built up my Right Clinic page to 5,400 followers, and my personal page has 7,400 followers, and my kind of group has over 9,000 members. So people are able to see me from 3 different angles, if you like. And so collectively, I've got over 20,000 people looking at my stuff on LinkedIn. So in terms of strategy, then, you get more eyeballs on things if you post in different ways. So here's what to post to sell without selling. So you might want to share your thoughts on prominent topics in your space or in your industry. Again, curating any information so that people know that you're knowledgeable and you're keeping on top of the constant new information that is coming out in your industry. And you can also talk about your experience in your career and any of your learning points. You can also show that you get results for yourself and for your clients. So, for example, one of my personal projects is my Pharmacist Virginia YouTube channel. And so I share the analytics, the behind the scenes, the how I do things. And that helps me actually get clients that want coaching and they want to learn from me. And, you know, people also want to see that you do what you say you do. So if I am encouraging people to create accessible evidence-based health information, then I need to show people that I do that. And one way to do that is to show that I'm PIFTIC certified, for example. So I meet certain criteria and standards for health information. You also don't need to always post about yourself. If you can get people to post about you, which strengthens your reputation as well. So people might say, oh, I'm really glad I spoke with Virginia to learn more about YouTube or how to create videos, or it was really great to meet Virginia at an event, and they might post a picture of you. So you do want to kind of be a little bit of your own PR person as well. And you want people talking about you as well as you talking about yourself. But in the same vein, you should talk about other people. So it shows that you are well connected in the space and you are talking to people who are in the same space as you and you're learning from each other. So again, LinkedIn being ideal for creating connections, building those relationships, and that can help you build your authority and thought leadership as well. So a lot of people have a similar audience to you and they'll be more than happy to, you know, collaborate with you and that kind of thing. So if you comment on other people's posts, that's also a great way to sell without selling. So not every post has to be a post, even a comment can be a post as well. So if you start commenting on other people's posts, then you are starting conversations, or you are responding to people's comments within those posts, then again, it shows you as a thought leader. It shows that you have an opinion on something, and that you have values, and you can share all of that. So people might want to learn from you. So sharing top tips every now and again is really helpful, especially when you learn something. So again, bringing knowledge to people, to your audience, is a way that you can show people that you're a thought leader, you're an authority in that space. And you do have to kind of be loud and proud about yourself a lot, which a lot of people feel uncomfortable about. They feel like they're boasting, or they, you know, don't know how to represent themselves. You do get used to it eventually, and people love to encourage, you know, seeing you win. So they love to see you win. They love to encourage you sharing your wins, and it's inspiring. So people, you know, love to see that in the community, and it's a great positive boost as well, because I think sometimes things can be happening in the world which are not great. So some people like to get a bit of a positive boost when they see someone successful or making a change in the world, or doing something to improve an industry and so on. So that concludes the presentation. I know it's a little over 30 minutes, but I hope that it either inspired you or gave you some insight into how I use LinkedIn or what LinkedIn is looking for. I don't work for LinkedIn, but I do get a lot of training and stuff from LinkedIn because I've been creating on the platform for 4 years. And I'm continuing to kind of build my group and my space in, you know, medical writing and creating health videos and health information standards. So yeah, you can connect with me on LinkedIn, or you can email me, or you can visit my website. And yeah, I'm happy to take questions. So Darshan, you've got your hand up. Go ahead.
Hey, how's it going? Thank you so much for today's session. I'll be honest with you, just trying to absorb top tips in terms of what I could do going forward. And I'm really going to check out those carousel pages, because I was wondering, like, how do they do it? Like, you know, and it's so simple. It's almost like those like top trump cards that people just move one to another just to get a bit more information.
Yeah.
And so that's one of my main takeaways. And I was just looking at it now, what to do and how to do it and how to create it. So massive thank you, Virginia. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, totally. Thank you so much. That's really kind. Thank you. It's nice to see you here.
You too.
Any other questions? I do actually have a video on how to create a LinkedIn carousel. I'll just grab it for you if you want to have a look. It's from the point of view of medical writers, but it's still relevant. So let me just find that. Yeah, go ahead, Jeff. Hey, Jeff. Nice to see you here.
Hey, Virginia. Nice to see you too. Just one quick question. I might have missed this. I was a bit late to the party, but have you got any tips on writing hooks and hooking people in?
Yeah, so let me just say, let me just add this to the chat. How to create LinkedIn carousel. There's a video on how to create a LinkedIn carousel from my page, Write Clinic, which is all about medical writing. Okay, so how to write a great hook. So I would say that, let me just stop presenting for a second. So if you want to write a great hook, I would say try to think of something that you can give a unique angle on. So for example, if you've achieved something that's quite significant, especially in your journey from your point of view, then I know you're quite good at writing hooks anyway, so I'm sorry to get this question from me. But I would say, you know, I took, so I know your space is like SEO, so search engine optimization. So a great hook for you would be, you know, why do people invest so much money in SEO? Is it worth it? Because that might be a common question that people have. And I think SEO gets ignored a lot, but it's basically the foundation of the internet. Because what do we do when we go on the internet? We type in words, we search for things, we try and find the answer to our questions. And so if you are search engine optimized, then you're more likely to be found, and people are more likely to engage with you because they see that you put in that effort to be found. And so what I would say is you can also go at it from that angle. You can say, you know, how do people find things on the internet? And you can kind of take people through that journey, because it's something that's really familiar as well. So the more familiar it is, and the more you can kind of speak from an authoritative point of view about it, then that's what makes a great hook.
Cool, thank you.
You're welcome. Eva.
I was wondering, Virginia, if you have something like a content calendar, or are you completely spontaneous about your posts?
That's a great question. I'm totally spontaneous. So sometimes I will have an idea of like the podcast clips that I'm recording in future with certain people. I'll also have an idea of any events that are coming up. So I try to avoid filler content. I try to make sure that I'm not just posting for the sake of content. I try to think of, you know, something interesting that I've seen that day, or maybe an article that I read, or a conversation that I had with someone. And I try to make my content as unique and personal to me as possible. So not personal in the sense that, you know, I'm sharing my birthday or something. Personal in the sense that it's something that I am interested in, that I want to share with my audience, because this is what I'm like. So I do not use a content calendar in the traditional sense, but I do plan conversations with people and think about the key takeaways that I might want to write up in a post, especially because I do a lot of video content from two different angles. So from the medical writing angle, but also from the health information angle. So which are related because it's all basically in the health and medical world. And yeah, so I'm spontaneous, but it's kind of planned, because I plan conversations with real people. Because I think, I don't know, I'm just not a generic content kind of person. I always try to think about what I've learned that I could add that I haven't really seen anyone else talk about. And usually that comes from conversations with people who are thought leaders in my own space. So I always try to, you know, bring people into conversation, champion other people, and then not talk too much about myself, because if you just talk about yourself, it feels a bit strange. It can be difficult to do that. So people want to know what's going on in the world and other people's opinions.
Thank you.
Cool.
Any other questions, anyone?
Yeah. Oh, there's a question in the chat. Hi, from Stuart. I've been a bit lazy with growing my LinkedIn network in the past, so it's mostly ex-colleagues, etc., who would not actually be my freelance customers. So I've set up a business page. Any good strategies for boosting the visibility of that business page? So try to associate yourself with your business page. So tag yourself. It's going to feel weird, but tag yourself so people know that you are responsible for that page. And also make sure that you've got your own business page as part of your experience section on your LinkedIn profile, on your actual LinkedIn page, your personal one. And good strategies would be talking about things in the industry that your business is in. So for example, for me, with the medical writing page, even though I sell courses, I like to promote free courses from official sources. So for example, I found this course on communicating science clearly by the CDC in the US. And so I shared that with my audience on my business page to show that, you know, I am looking at these official sources, and I also sell my own courses, but I get inspiration from, you know, official sources as well, and add my personal kind of experience as a medical writer, as a health information creator to those kind of things. So try to curate content if you want to boost visibility. So find interesting things that people would want to learn about from you, and make your business page a resource for people. So people follow people that they want to learn from, that they find interesting, that they like reading. So that would be my top tip. So curate content, try to find things that complement what you create, and just do that regularly to kind of build your business. And use your business page to comment as well on people's posts. So when you have a business page, you have two options on who's commenting. So you can comment personally, and you can comment as your business page as well. So I like things and do stuff because then people get used to seeing your business logo.